So welcome everyone to the day 4 of React.js workshop. Today we're going to go through how you can work with APIs in React and a special function, or you can call it a hook in the language of in the React's language called useEffect hook. So let's get started. First of all, let us initialize our project. Let me select the folder. Hmm, Yeah. Okay. Just like usual, we're going to type npx create React app API intro. So meanwhile, it's initializing our app. Let me explain to you what useEffect is. So useEffect looks something like this. And actually, it's if you have ever coded in React before, there's something called component did mount and component did update, I guess, something like that. So it acts as a replacement for those functions. So what useEffect exactly does is whenever your component or the function of your component is rendered, this function is called. It's only going to be called one time, but you can control it according to your liking. If you want it to call multiple times, there are ways you can do that. Let me explain to you how. So, so if you have typed it something like this, this is the basic syntax. You can write your code inside of here. If you have written the syntax something like this and this square bracket is empty, then this function will be called only once whenever your component is rendered. But if there's something inside is, for example, I've written a variable a inside it. So whenever this variable a will change, this function will be called again and again. Whenever the value inside of this variable a changes, then this function will be called again. Similarly, you can add multiple variables inside it, like name, etc. These are called dependencies of whatever the spelling is of use effect. So these are called the dependencies for use effect. Let's see if our React app has been initialized. Yes, it has been initialized. Let me switch to that folder. I hope I've started the recording. Yes. Okay. So here we go. Our app has initialized successfully. Let me remove the files that we don't need. And let me remove the places where those files were being used. I'm gonna remove it from here. Oh yeah, this as well. Okay, let me remove all of these styles. All right, done. Okay, so we're going to create our first use effect hook over here. Let me remove this logo as well and start our app. So use effect is written somewhat like this. Use effect. If you type this, you can see Visual Studio Code is suggesting us. So we can press enter. Let me clean it up. So here's the basic syntax. Let me bring this screen over here. Yeah. So here's our use effect hook. So let's define something over here. Let's say, oops. I've defined this variable over here. I'm just going to print it over here, or I have a better idea. 1 second. Let's bring in a use state as well. Let's give it an initial value of 0. And we're going to print count over here. And inside of this, whenever the first time this will be called, set count to count plus 5. Okay, use state is not defined. It's because we haven't imported use state and use effect, both of them. So we're going to import them. Auto import feature of VS Code. You can just click on CTRL plus space. You can see all of them has been, both of them has been imported. So let's save this. All right, you can see 5 has been printed over here because, but you can see we have given it initial value of 0, but it has been called once. So 5 has been printed over here. So this is what use effect is when it's called once. Okay, so that's what use effect was. So also today we're going to be discussing about APIs. Does anyone have any idea what API is? What's their use? You can see the React app is giving us warning. We can add a missing dependency called count because count is being used inside of here. Whenever count changes, this function will be fired again and again. If we add this dependency, it's going to stop giving us the error. You can see. Yeah. So anyone has any idea what API is? Whoa, what's going on over there? Why is this number going crazy?
Application programming interface.
Yes, exactly. Application programming interface. That's the full form
So,
of.
okay.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
full
and
form
it
of
is used
API.
to interact between two applications.
Correct. Also, when we create our backend, it's basically it's used to communicate with the backend as well. Whatever data we're sending from the backend, we can receive it with the help of API. There are certain endpoints defined. So an API is basically a set of data, often in JSON format, with specified endpoints. When we access the data from the API, we want to access specific endpoints. Like, for example, I have one of the APIs over here. Let me go to the browser and enter this randomuser.me. So what this API does, it generates data of a random user. You can see it's, yeah, you can see it's generating the data of a random person. If we type, oops, if we type results 2, it's going to give us the data of some random person. So this is called a REST API. REST API is open to everyone. So we're going to use a REST API today to build a small project, a small component, I guess. So yeah, let's start. Let me just demonstrate how we can fetch APIs first. Mm, yeah. So there are multiple ways through which we can fetch the APIs. There are functions. There are functions called fetch. There's something called Ajax. There's something called Axios. But yeah, out of them, the one that is most famous is Axios. So we're going to install that dependency. npm I Axios. It takes a bit of time to install. It's a huge package. Also today I've completed the in shorts clone that I'm going to start from tomorrow, hopefully. Let me show you people. No, not here. So this is the in shorts clone. Let me go to the original website. So this is the original website of InShorts with the different categories over here. You can click on any read more at, and it takes you to the original source. Oops, mistakenly stopped the screen share. Okay, so here we go. What's going on? Yeah. So if you click on this link, it takes you to the original source. So just like that, this is our clone app, exactly same as the original one. When you scroll down over here, it shows a load more button, just like the original website. Load more. It's going to load more. If you click over here, it's going to load more results. Also, if you go to the menu, you can see different categories. If you click on technology, you can see technology post. So yeah, this is the app that we're going to build next. Let me close this up. Okay, it's still being installed. It takes a ton of time. So okay, so what we're going to build today is a picker component. We're going to use an API to fetch the countries, and when we select a country, it's going to display another select component in which there will be different cities inside of that country. So we need to select a city. So yeah, that is what we're going to build today. So Rajat has written, looking forward to all the workshops. Great, bro. All right, let me just write the code meanwhile. So how we use Axios is that we need to, okay, can't directly write it inside of useEffect. We need to make another function, and that function needs to be asynchronous. So what synchronous and asynchronous is? Synchronous functions are what are called like in one go, and asynchronous functions are those which are called and then they're working in the background. If you're coming from a Java background, you'll know it's like something like threads in Java. So just similar thing, asynchronous programming. So, yeah, so we need to create an async function called const, let me say user. An async function is defined like this. Okay, so we're going to fetch the API inside of this function. We're going to use a try catch block. If there's any error in the API, it's going to throw the error in the catch block. Otherwise, it's going to run the try block successfully. User detail. And whenever we use async function, we need to write a keyword called await. And now we're going to write our Axios code. Axios dot. This is a get request, so we need to write Axios dot get. If it's a post request, you can just search it up what different requests are. There's a get request, there's a post request. You want to send data to the backend. There's a patch request, there's a delete request. So we're just only focusing on get request because we want to get the data from the API. Let me copy this. And we need a data of single person. So we're just going to remove this part. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we need to create a state as well. Let me just remove this count. User details. Let's just write this. And yeah, that's all. So let's set the data now. Set user details. And we're going to provide it. Okay, before we write this code, let me just see what we get inside this user detail. Let me just comment it out and quickly log it. And inside of error, we can write an console log. Let's start the app. What are you installing now? I'm installing the Axios package, Piyush. Axios package is used to fetch our APIs. Let's go to inspect into the console. Okay, we haven't called it yet. We have to call the function as well for it to work. So we're going to call it inside useEffect. That means whenever the app is rendered first, it's going to call that function. So the function's name is user. Oops. Yeah, here we go. Let's go to the console. Here we go. You can see there are many things over here. What's the difference between fetch and Axios? Anina, fetch is like, I mean, Axios makes our task much more easier. With fetch, you need to write like a lot of code. For example, you have to write, you have to create a request object, then you have to pass that request object inside the fetch, then you have to write dot, then I mean, it's just a lot of code, and Axios saves us basically a lot of code. That's all.
Oh, okay, Piyush. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, here we go. You can see we have received this data. Let's see what's useful inside it for us. So this is the config information. This is the data. So this is what we need inside of data, inside of info. I think this is what we need. No, we need the results inside of data, inside of results. This is what we need. You can see we have just requested for one user. So we got this data over here. So we're just going to use it. So we need to type dot data dot results. So let's log user detail dot data dot results. Is it results with an S? Results, yes.
So, Piyush, this Axios converts the data into JSON by itself,
Yes, exactly.
right?
In the fetch, we
Okay.
need to write response.json.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
So you can see we have received whatever the that was inside the results. So this is what we need. Now we can use it, like we can put it into our state. So this is what we need. So I'm just going to copy this, cut this, and paste it over here. Let me comment this out. So we have our user details into this user details state. Let's see what's useful in it for us. Is there any picture? Yeah, here's a picture. I'm just going to print whatever this picture is over here. Dot picture dot medium. Let's create an image tag. Oops. So we need user details dot picture dot medium. I'm guessing I have to do this as well because it's in the form of an array with the zeroth object, but let's just not do it. Let's try this if it works. No, it doesn't works. Okay, cannot treat property 0 of undefined. Hmm. Did I wrote some, did I do some spelling mistake? Let me just log it outside.
Piyush, you have written user detail in the above and user details in the lower in the class name.
What? Sorry. Okay, over here. User detail dot data dot rules. No, it's
Detail.
fine. We have
But you
just
have
huh?
uh,
Because our state's name is user details. So we're
okay,
just
okay,
printing
got it.
our
Yeah,
state.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see. I might have just made some spelling mistake over here.
It's in the object form, so I think we have to convert it into array first, and then
Okay. Okay. One sec. Oh, what? I've removed this. Why is it still giving me error? So how are we supposed to convert it to the array? Usually it works like this. I've used this API earlier as well. Yeah, see, it's working. I've just attached the 0th index over here. Now user details is working. Okay, now I think it should work. Let's try again. Here, you see, it's working. Let me just replace this with large. Okay, here's another random person. All right, cool, it's working. Okay, so why it's giving this error? Because it hasn't fetched it at the time that this is calling this API. The picture has not been fetched yet, so we can write just like this: user details. And so if there's anything inside user details, only then this image will be printed. Now there will be no error, I think. Yeah, no error. We can just refresh it. So yeah, this is how we fetch our APIs. So I think we should now start working on the project. Let me clear this up. I hope everything is clear. If there's any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, let me just first style everything to the center. This, no, that's not needed. Okay. Another div inside of this. I'm gonna name it app header. Here we go. We need to assign this app header to the center. So I'm not gonna go through the CSS part. It's just pretty basic. Whatever I explained in today's app. Let's see. Hello world. Yep, it's working. Wait. Yeah. Also, I think in today's meeting, we're going to have a 40-minute limit because of Zoom. So let me know if the meeting stops. So here we go. Hello world is printed. Let me just create a h1 tag. Select your hometown. Oh, it's huge. Okay, we're going to create another div for all of the contents inside of it. Now I select tag. Sorry. What am I writing? Option. let's write select country, and this option will be disabled and selected and hidden, because we don't want this option to select it. We just want it to be there for as a placeholder. Let's write India. I think that should be enough to style this up. Let me give this a class name, or is it necessary? Okay, I won't give it a class name. I'll just do this so that all of the selects get the same style. Here we go. This is the style that we want. So this is the one for the country, and we need to create another select for the cities. So I'm just going to press Shift Alt down. Oops. Yeah, Shift Alt down to replicate it. So select city. Let me write Delhi. My Alt key is not working for some reason. Mumbai. What? Okay, here we go. We have to select, and we need a button as well. And I think I'm going to give the button the similar style. Let me just give the button a similar style as well. So I'm just going to go here and comma button. Yeah, looks good. So what I want now is we need to use an API. Okay, this says the meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. We're going to select a country from this list, and whatever the country is selected, it's going to render all of the cities from that country. So let me show you all the API that I'm going to use over here. Here it is.
Piyush, we
Yes.
gave the flex direction as column, right? So why are all the three buttons coming in a row?
Over here.
Yeah.
No, I've given the flex direction column for the whole of this container. For the parent container of this select hometown and this. So select hometown is first item, and this div is the second item. Wait, let me show you.
Okay, it is considered as a whole div. Okay.
Yes, you can see the app header. This is the first
Yeah.
item, and this another div is the second item, whole of this div. You see?
Okay. Okay.
You can just have a look at the CSS. If any confusion, you can ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
And what is the disable selected hidden which you use for the select element?
Okay, that one, yeah. So first of all, we need to have something over here, because if we don't do this, let me just remove all of this. If we just do like this, so you can see it's going to have a select country and India as well. Why is it appearing like this? It's not probably, yeah, no, fine. It's going to have select country and India. So first of all, we need to keep it selected so that it's displayed over here. So this is
Okay.
selected, right? And we don't want it to appear in the drop down, so we want it to be hidden and disabled. I think hidden should be enough. You don't need to have disabled, but yeah, okay, it's showing an extra page. No, but yeah, let's just add disabled as well. So I hope you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
okay, yeah. So yeah, this is the API. What this API has, it has this data object. Inside of this data object, I mean, it's an array. It's an array with a lot of countries. So each of the object contains a country and its cities. I mean, each of the item of this array. Country, cities. So we're just going to fetch all of the countries first for our select box. Mm. What's going on? Oops. Yeah. So let's just use fetch to fetch this. We're going to write a function first. We're going to use this to fetch the countries. We're going to have two functions, one for fetching countries and another for fetching cities. So we need to make it async. Sorry. We're going to use a try catch block. So let's just bring our API. Yeah. Const. We're going to write await and Axios dot get. And we're going to write the name of our API. I mean the link of the API. This one. Here we go. Now we need to create a states inside of which we can store all of our data. Let's just give this a name of countries. Yeah, and this will be an array. So set countries. So let's see. This will be the countries. Inside of this, there's a country. Oops, sorry, this is the wrong API. Okay, so inside of this, the data, and inside of that, there's a country. And yeah, this is what we want. So country dot data. I think this should work, or do we need to write another data inside of? Let me just log this first. Yeah. Okay, haven't called this function yet. Okay, let's see. Okay, there's one more data inside of it. So we need to type country dot data dot data. And now, yeah, we have got the array. Here we go. I hope everything's clear until now. We have in every single item, there's a country and there's a cities array of that country. Okay, fine. So let's just render it over here. Yeah, over below this, we need not to touch this select country option. We're going to render it from here. So first of all, we will check if countries have actually the data inside of it. So countries and if there's something inside of the countries, so we're going to the map through it. Not here. I think I should check it over up there. If there's nothing inside of the country, the whole select box should not be rendered. All right, now. What? Map. Okay. Single country. That should work. We need to provide this key as well, but let's see if it's working or not. It's not working. Or do I need to type country dot country? Yes, I think I need to type that. Still not working. Did I provide it to the state? I did not. That's the reason. Set countries. Now it should definitely work. Yeah, here we go. All of the countries are rendered. If we select any single one of the countries, we want this select city, select box to appear, and with all of the cities inside of it. Let me just give this key as well. So as I explained, I'd like to give the keys like this. I'm going to type the name of this country and then the time, date dot now. So the same thing, country dot country, country dot country dash date dot now. Okay. Yep, that's
If
fine.
country
Yes.
itself is a key, right? It won't be repeated. So why are we adding date into now, like date into the key?
Just in case, I mean, it's a good practice to make it unique. But yeah, exactly, country won't be repeated. But many of the cases, for example,